Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is episode 115 of my brand new Comics Haul series where I show you guys all the new books that I pick up at my local comic shop every single week and I tell you everything you need to know about every single issue. So a really small haul this week, it won't be too much reading. I've got 4 different issues in total. Actually one from DC this week as well as one from Boom Studios and 2 from Marvel Comics. So let's just get right into it here. A good variety of books, but I think it was a pretty small week in general from a lot of the different publishers, but we've got some big stuff coming up as summer continues. We've got some big releases, but this first issue that I've got from Marvel Comics, which we'll start off with here, is Spider-Man number 9. So it does seem like it's just an ongoing issue of Spider-Man, right? We had that whole end of the Spider-Verse saga or whatever that lasted for the first 7 issues, I think. That's over now. So now we're going to more of a street level approach for Spider-Man after the insanity that was that first arc of this new ongoing series. But this is kind of a special issue because I guess it's now the 3rd appearance of Spider-Boy, right? That character that first appeared in number 7, and that issue has just gone crazy on eBay and everything. Everyone's speculating about it. I heard a lot of people don't like the character also. I think let's just hear out Dan Slott on this character and see what the story is behind his backstory and everything. That's him right there, though. It looks like he's having some interactions with Norman Osborn and everything. But yeah, so that's kind of a subplot going on in the background. But we've also got this whole plot where Spider-Man, something happened to his senses, right? They've been going haywire, and now the cliffhanger at the end of the last issue has really expanded that superpower for him. To a new level. So definitely interesting concepts here. It seems like Dan Slott is just able to do a lot of the ideas that he never got to fully flesh out or whatever. He never got to visit in his Amazing Spider-Man run. Now in this new ongoing series, and I'm not even reading Amazing Spider-Man anymore. So this is my monthly Peter Parker fix. This is all I'm getting. So hopefully this continues to be a good series. But I'm liking it so far. Next up, though, from Marvel Comics, the other issue I got from them this week, this one is Red Goblin number 5, and this is also Carnage Reigns Part 4, right? So Marvel loves immediately throwing these new ongoing series into events where this random issue of Red Goblin is Part 4 of the Carnage Reigns event, but yeah, so the first 4 issues of this series I actually thought were pretty good. I think I am going to step off of this one just because it's not anything super special and it's pretty heavily tied into the other Venom titles that are going on right now. So it's not really the best thing for me to be picking up. It's also tied into Gold Goblin and everything happening in Amazing Spider-Man because Red Goblin is Normie Osborn, right? So it's Norman Osborn's grandson taking up this role with a new adolescent symbiote that he's having to bond with. Or it's showing their connection and building their relationship up, as well as now I guess just throwing Normie into the middle of Carnage Reigns, which so far it's like a crossover between Miles Morales and Carnage, I guess, with Red Goblin also somehow involved. He hasn't been up until this point, but the event so far has been okay in my opinion. I'm really liking the Carnage and Miles ongoing series, and I think they're doing a good job of crossing them over for good reason. With Cletus Cassidy being this big force, now he's got this mega Iron Man suit, and he's just kind of rampaging across the world. So it's taking a break from that Carnage God, with the Carnage being separate from Cletus Cassidy that had been going on in Carnage before this. And it's pretty street level. There's nothing huge happening in this. Obviously there's some kind of big stuff happening in New York City, but I don't know why I expected this to be on an absolute Carnage level. It really isn't. It's just a fun crossover, but really nothing that crazy for the Marvel Universe happening, if you guys understand what I'm saying. But that's Red Goblin number 5, part 4 of Carnage Reigns. Next up, though, from Boom Studios, this is one of my favorite ongoing series. It's been away for a couple months, so I was happy to see that an issue came out this week. But it's Once Upon a Time at the End of the World. This is number 6. And this is one of those series where it's a really special format, right? So I think what they're doing is every 5 issues, we get a chunk of time told about this relationship, this love story between the 2 main characters, Maceo and Mezzi, right? I think those are their names. And they met each other as teens, right? At this end of the world apocalypse. And we got their backstories fleshed out and everything in the first 5 issues. But now we're doing a time skip, and it's a different artist on this issue also. So that there's just, I guess the time skips have different artists, it makes sense, but then there's also flashbacks that have the old artists and stuff, so it's very involved. They've got a whole timeline set out for the series and everything. It is fully written by Jason Aaron, though. That's the consistency with this series, and yeah, so we'll see where this goes. I really like those first 5 issues. The characters are written really well and had a lot of heart to it, so I'm looking forward to seeing how the series continues to be, and I hope they keep publishing it for a while, because we saw a flash forward to the very far future, the end of the series, in the first few issues, so I think we're leading to that, and hopefully they'll keep publishing it and sell enough copies to get to that point. So good series. I do recommend that one if you haven't already picked it up. Last issue of the week, though, this one's from DC Comics. It's a Black Label book. This is Peacemaker Tries Hard, #2. So I think this is a 6-issue miniseries. I picked it up on the fly. I didn't really know it was coming out until the week that it did, and I got it off the stands. That first issue was so good. It definitely gave like the exact same vibe that the actual Peacemaker show gave while it was coming out, which I loved. I didn't know anything about this character in the actual comics, which I guess he wasn't really too big of a character before that show with John Cena came out, right? So I don't think this is set in continuity since it's Black Label. I guess that's usually not the case for a Black Label series from DC, but it does cost $5. I think it's just the standard page count. I like to get technical about stuff like this, but you do get like a cardstock cover. But yeah, that first issue is really good. Kyle Starks is the writer, who I've heard some good things about, but this is the first thing I've actually read from him. And I was just seeing an announcement that he's doing like a Pet Avengers revamp for Marvel. So this gave me like hope that that's going to be exciting because this is so funny and so well written. And it really does just feel like the show. You know, Peacemaker is drawn to look like John Cena, I think. It's just pretty much supposed to be like the film universe, but I don't necessarily know that it's set in like the in the movies, right? The DC movie continuity. But yeah, I do recommend this one. It's been good so far. Maybe not like super great for anyone who hasn't seen Peacemaker, but it would still be enjoyable. It's funny and everything. And definitely first good issue. A good first issue of the series, right? So we'll see how this continues to be a 6-issue miniseries there, and I'll keep trying that one out. Even though it's DC and I don't usually get any DC titles, obviously. But those are the 4 issues I picked up this week, though. Pretty small haul for me, but I've got some like back reading, some collections and stuff I've been meaning to read, so it's always good to have a little bit lighter of a week. Let me know what you guys are looking forward to reading this week, though. What'd you pick up? Let me know all that down in the comment section below. And if you're not already subbed up to the channel, we're trying to hit 600 subscribers. That's the next milestone. So if you've been enjoying the content, make sure to do that. And I'll see you guys in next week's haul. Bye, guys.